welcome back, and we are going to start the second session on PSO-based optimal load management in smart grid environment. So this is going to be a demand response program, and its usage in a smart grid environment, and it is going to be explained with illustrative examples, right? So let us see the background. What is demand response? Electric utilities and power network companies have been forced to restructure around the world because from the regulated environment, they are forced to go to the regulated environment because of so many reasons. The reasons are economic and maybe unable to create a new generation's sudden change in the demand. Everything makes and go for restructured environment. The philosophy of operating the system also changed. Traditionally, the electric power system has been operated in a, it is like something like a service. It was felt that electricity was a service to be given to the public for all time. Now it has been changed to the commodity. Now the electricity is considered as a commodity, as a trade for options. So the philosophy is changed. Earlier in classical philosophy, the whoever want electricity and the utility wanted to give electricity to all people whenever the demand occurs, right? But now this leads to so many changes in the operation of the power system, because the load is not always constant. It is varies with respect to time. So it requires peak load demand management. So everybody wanted to use power at a particular time. So the power requirement at a particular time period increases every day. This makes very difficulty for the power system operator to give electricity to all people. Instead, what they have thought that why don't the problem of maintaining the flat load demand to only with the power system engineer, why don't it can be left to the customer itself? So there is the origin of philosophy of keeping the demand as constant. So how the customer will respond to the changing environment? So in order to bring the customers into the power market, so that the fluctuation in the demand can be kept as minimum as possible. So these are all the some of the background of the environment of restructuring. Uh, the perfect balance between the supply and the load in the real time is necessary. That as already we have seen that for a reliable operation of power system, if not the frequency problem, over frequency, under frequency problem will come. So in order to maintain this uh, power system at all instant of time, there are many number of power system engineers are working 24 by 7 in order to keep the power system as reliable. Definitely it is not an easy task. Both supply and demand levels could change rapidly and unexpectedly. Since all the transmission lines are open and exposed, so most of the transmission lines are only over a transmission line. They are prone for failure, so anything may happen at any instant of time. So engineers are always ready to take care of all these changes could occur in the system, and the demand also can change abruptly. So based on that, they have to take the corrective actions. The forced outage of generator limits may also possible because of some problem, and the line outages may also cause the system to disturbance. The sudden load demand also may be the reason for changes, right? So the customer's response to the utility for changing in this restructured or smart grid amendment. And you can remember that in today current scenario, we don't have any such a type of practice in India, but it is there in the developed country. We are experiencing only very few concept in the restructured environment today. Soon the pricing also vary. So we in India, in Tamil Nadu, we have only different tariff for customers, that is residential customers, commercial customers, and then industrial customers, and institutes and temple will have different tariff. So again, the tariff is depends on the consumptions for individual customers. So the tariff will change according to the consumption, but it is independent of time. The important thing that we have to note that today almost everywhere in India, it is not a time dependent tariff, right? So in restructured environment, when the smart grid technology is introduced, the price can vary in the real time. So this work aims to how the demand can be made flat by customers response in the real time. So today it may not be applicable to India. Soon it may come to India, that we hope. So based on this, how the customer can respond to the utility, the customer action can be in threefold. There are three actions that involves customers response, right? uh, Reduce usage, critical peak period when prices are high. So what they can do is, you will assume that the price is varying in real time, depending on the usage of electricity. It means that during the peak hours the prices may go up, during the off peak hours the prices may go down, right? So if the customer knows that this is the cost of electricity if I use now, so what they may think that if the prices is very high, so they can avoid using the power, right? So something like they can switch off their heaters or switch off their air conditioners, and this definitely put a temporary loss of comfort to them. So definitely maybe they will reduce the billing also. So the customers reaction may be like this: they can reduce the usage of electricity by uh, putting off their connected appliances, switching off their connected appliances because of the high price, right? So this is one way. And the other customer can also anything wrong that I am getting a
Sir,
noise?
excuse. Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
share your screens, please, sir.
Oh, it is not shared. Oh my
Yes,
God.
sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Oh,
Sorry for the
very.
interruption, sir.
Oh, sorry, madam. You didn't told me, but I was speaking for a long time. Is it okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. But I was telling that the customers' reaction to the utility based on prices may be in three ways. The first action may be that the customer can switch off their electricity, and they can postpone their uses, and they will ready to compromise with their comfort, and this reduces the cost of electricity bill. So first one is reducing the usage, and second one is shifting their demand, right? And some customer ready to shift their activity, that is they can postpone their usage of electricity to some other off peak period, right? So knowing that in peak period the cost of electricity is high, they can postpone to this to off peak period. The appliances like washing machines, water pumps, and dishwashers may also be ironing maybe can also put to the off peak period, so that they can avoid using the peak period. So this is another response to the customer. So one can reduce the electricity, another can shift their electricity usage. By using this, they don't have incur any extra cost. That is, they are not reducing their electricity usage, but they are shifting the usage of electricity. So this will incur no additional cost. In turn, it is benefit for the customer only, right? So, and the third is they can use their own generation, right? So today almost many customers have solar power generation at their home, so they can have a their own distributor generation. So during the peak period, what they can do is they can switch on. If the electricity cost is very high, they can use their own generation instead of getting electricity from the utility. So this will also cause us some changes in the electricity's usage pattern, because they are reducing the consumption in from the utility, and they are using their own generation. So these are all the three possible response of a customers from the utility point of view, right? So now we'll see how the demand response is classified. So demand response means what? How the customer responds to the in the regulated or smart grid environment, right? So demand responses program are broadly classified into incentive based programs or price based programs. In the incentive based programs, they are further classified into classical classical programs, that is classical incentive based programs or market based incentive programs, right? So in the classical uh, IBP, that is incentive based program, customers receive discount for their participation, right? So what they will is, who are all the participants in the demand response program, they will get a discount, right? So near the participation in the DR program itself, they will get incentive, and they will get discount for their participation. In the market based program, they are not getting the discount based on their performance, right? Participants are rewarded money depending on the amount of load reduction during critical conditions. So it is depends on their performance, how much load they will reduce during the critical condition, that determines how much money they will get. So there is a two different, right? Classical price based is incentive based program is, and the classical it can be a direct control or interruptible control also. What it means is, in direct control program, utility can switch off their appliances, right? So this is possible only in smart grid technology. It means utility have the control of appliances of your home. So how it is possible? It requires some investment, right? So if you are going to be the part of DR program, and you need to set up some technology based changes in your home, you have to identify which are all the equipment that you can allow the utility to switch off. All right, that you have to decide and give the option to the utility. So utility can have a direct control over your connected equipment within a short notice, right? They don't abruptly cut off the power, they will give a short notice to power cut off for those equipments. And this is called direct load control by the utility. Second one is the interruptible or containable program. They will receive, the customers will receive the upfront payment. Upfront payments is something like advance or rate discount for the power they are going to reduce. So the utility will give instruction to reduce the load for this number of hours, right? So the participant has to obey this order. For that, they will get a money. If you don't obey, they will get a penalty, right? So these are all the two different that is in incentive based, right? In incentive based DR program. In the market based, there are four possible combinations like demand betting, emergency DR, capacity market, and ancillary services market. In the demand betting program, customers bid for some specific load reduction in electricity. So what the customer has to do is, I am having this much of load, I can reduce this much of power during this hour, for what money I can reduce. So I have to bid in the wholesale market that this is the amount of load that I can contract for this amount. So they have to bid in the market. So demand bidding, right? So if this is accepted, the customer should curtail the load during the situation of requirement. Otherwise, they will face the penalty. And there are some customers, they will only respond during the emergency. So there are customers that they don't wanted to reduce their consumption during peak load, but they are ready to reduce their load during the emergency conditions. So the emergency DR program are price sensitive, and incentive will be given to the customers based on emergency DR load reductions, right? Capacity market programs providing pre-specified load reductions contingency arise. So when the contingency arises, right, only during the contingency they will respond, right? So one there are few customers they can respond during the peak hours. There are customers they can only respond to the emergency situation. There are customers they can respond only in the contingency. When contingency occur, they are ready to reduce the load. So they are called capacity market program. Ancillary services, sir. So in spot market, as an operative reserve or in spot price, they need to participate in the market for the ancillary services provided. They will get the incentive for this. So these are all market based and market driven incentive based programs. In the price based programs, the second category of uh, price based programs, they are usually change the prices are changing in a dynamic manner. That is, they are fluctuating. Usually the cost is not constant, and it is fluctuating in nature. So what are the main objectives of DR programs? The main objective of DR program is reduce the demand during the peak period and increase the demand during the off peak period. So they wanted to reduce the price during peak period, and this can be possible by reducing the demand at the peak period, and ask the customers to increase the load during the off peak period so that the frequency can be maintained. So it means when you do so, what will happen? The peak demand reduced and off-peak demand increases. It is something like this is the very typical load curve that you can take, and you see that this is not constant, right? So in the early morning, the power consumption is low. After 6 o'clock, it goes on increasing. Maybe sometime around 7, 8 o'clock, it is peak, and then it is decreasing. And the evening, it is maybe at 6 o'clock, everybody wanted to 6 to 7 o'clock, everybody want electricity. They want to light their home. The peak demand goes at around 6 or 7 o'clock. So it may sustain up to 9 o'clock. And then after 9 o'clock, it will start decreasing. Midnight, it is decreasing. So the consumption of demand is not flat. It is also changing with respect to time. The objective of DR program is to make this as a flat. You can look at the next diagram. There is a black horizontal line. Maybe it is not possible to make it as a constant demand, but the objective is to reduce the peak demand and increase the consumption in during the off peak period. So these are all the main objective of the DVR program. So in the price based programs, uh, the time of use rate is used. So the simple basic price based program is time of use. So at this time, what is the electricity price? Accordingly, I have to pay. So this means that they will have only two time blocks. So one block for peak load consumption and other blocks for off peak, right? So the utility will give or charge only two prices, one for peak demand usage, another for off peak demand usage. So the rate design is aiming to bring the average cost is equal to the cost of electricity, right? So it means that peak hours the price will be high, off peak hours the price will be low. So the average will be the average cost of electricity. So simply that it is called the time of use rate. CPP stands for critical peak price. Critical peak price. So critical peak price rates, so higher the electricity usage, price superimposed on TU rates. So as we have seen early that TU rates or time of usage rates are only two blocks, peak and off peak. So when the it reaches the critical peak, so along with the time of use rate, this CPP rate also superimposed, and this superimposes is limited to a certain hour of days, right? So it may be due to capacity reductions or any other problems, right? This is informed earlier to the customers, and this cost will apply along with the TOU. EDP, extreme demand pricing, is similar to critical peak. In the extreme, the price is in effect for the whole 24 hours of the extreme day. In the extreme demand pricing system, so unlike CPP is only for limited hours in a day, or it may continue for several days. But extreme day pricing is for the whole 24 hours of the extreme day. When they declare it as a extreme day, the price is applicable for the whole day or whole 24 hours. So, and we assumed that the schedule of, for simplicity, for the scheduling of power is assumed that 1 hour per day, 1 hour. So, one day there are 24 blocks or schedule is required. Anybody know that what is the scheduling period in India? Uh, Participants who are listening me can able to answer. What is the scheduling time in India? So I was telling you some example that we have taken a 1 hour scheduling. It means that for one day 24-hour schedule means what is the forecast for next hour demand. So accordingly the generation and everything has to be kept intact so that the demand can be met. Those who have visited load dispatch center, right, may be aware that they stick on to the every utility and every load dispatch center, regional and state owned, everything they have to be stick on to the schedule. Anybody know what is the schedule used in India? Scheduling time, anybody know? For how many blocks are there for one day for scheduling? Anybody can answer? No idea. No idea, sir. Okay, okay. So maybe okay, no problem. uh, those who are power system specialization, you please visit the LDC, right? There are 6 load dispatch center websites are available, namely the Southern Region Load Dispatch Center. So just I will show you that SRLDC, right? SRLDC stands for Southern Regional Load Dispatch Center, right? So you go there and you can get so many details regarding this, right? So the similar to this SRLDC, there are SR stands for Southern Region, LDC stands for Load Dispatch Center, right? Southern region load dispatch center, western region, northern region. There is a national load dispatch center also, right? So I think it is take time. I will switch it off. Okay, there the scheduling time and everything will be uh, given to you, right? So let me come back to the question that I asked. Somebody says, how many LDCs are there? Okay. Uh, Actually, regional LDC, right? I would like to tell everybody is worrying about attendance, right? Madam, you give the attendance at the start of this program so that everybody is freed from attendance problem, please. Uh,
Sir, ఇవ్వండి అటెండెన్స్.
say whoever
ఇవ్వండి
you
అటెండెన్స్.
give the
Please participate.
you give you give the attendance to all so that they don't worry that you will give the attendance or not. You don't wait till the end, right? So okay, uh, thank you that
Thank
I told you that there are regional load dispatch center, right? For every region there is a load dispatch center. uh, for a national load, there is only one load national load dispatch center. It is at New Delhi. Western region load dispatch center is at Mumbai. uh, Northern region load dispatch center is at Delhi, and eastern region load dispatch center is at Kolkata. Anybody can answer me, where is the southern regional load dispatch center? Anybody can guess? Bangalore, right? Good. That is the answer, right? Many people have thought that I was telling only the metro cities, right? For all load dispatch center, but the southern region load dispatch center is not at Chennai; it is at Bangalore, right? I strongly recommend power system faculty. You please go to the Southern Regional Load Dispatch Center. They are also allowing to students to see. Suppose if you conduct any ME program in power system engineering, you will get a very good insight of a power system by looking at the load dispatch center in the southern region. So they will you go to the one-day visit to the southern road dispatch center, you will get a lot of idea, right? So so you will get a better opinion about and better insight about the power system. You can speak better to the students, right? So I strongly recommend you to go to the southern those who are in southern region, you please go to the Bangalore and see how they are managing whatever that I told you, that the managing the frequency, everything is they are doing it there, right? So let me come back to the question that I asked, right? There are 15 minutes block of time. So totally how many scheduling? So I said 15-minute schedule is followed in India, right? So totally there are 24 into 4, right? 96 blocks, right? So 96 blocks of schedule for every day. Just imagine every 15 minutes you can schedule, right? Every suppose if I belongs to Tamil Nadu, then I can change my schedule for every 15 minutes. But this 96 block of schedule I have to give a day before, right? Even then I can change my schedule, right? Those details are available in SRDLC. So how frequently people are changing their schedule? So the changing in the schedules are allowed, right? So when you change the schedule, it will operation will become very better, right? So in the real time, almost for I think 2 blocks before they can change, right? So even if you don't change, there is nothing wrong. But in the case of emergency or something that if you experience, you can change the scheduling. So these things that you can visually see at LTC, there are some local dispatch center also. In Tamil Nadu we have two LDC, maybe three LDC, one at Madurai, another at Road and Chennai. All right, so those people who are around this area can go and see how the LDC. The LDC at Madurai is in Pasumalai Pasumalai power station, right? There it is a substation. So you go there and you can see there also you will get good insight, and they have SCADA and they will tell you how this power system is maintained, right? So the power system engineers, please go there and visually see how the power system is monitored, right? So the answer is 96 blocks or 15 minutes schedule. Let me continue. So we are studying about the classification of DR programs, right? They are classified as uh, price based programs and incentive based programs. Earlier we have seen the incentive based programs, that is classical and market based. uh, that we have seen the differences. Now we will see what is the price based program. The easiest price based program is time of usage, critical peak period usage, then extreme day pricing, then extreme day critical peak pricing, right? So these are all the various combination that can occur. So in addition to the extreme day, the critical peak may also occur. So during those time, uh, extreme day pricing will be used. Almost for others it may be a flat rate, right? So apart from this, the RTP, real-time pricing, is the maybe the real-time pricing DR program that the price of electricity is frequently changing, fluctuating for every hour. So if it is an hourly market, right? So the customers will have a good idea that what is the price of electricity, right? Uh, Today, we all know that the cost of gold gold price varies twice a time, right? Maybe morning at 11 o'clock, and in the evening at maybe at 4 o'clock, right? So the some similar to that, the cost of electricity can also be varied for every hour. The customer can look at the price. Based on that, they can change their demand and usage, so that they can participate in the maintaining of the grid or reliability, right? So now we'll see the benefits of DR, and what are the benefits of DR program, and what are the costs associated with the DR program. So the DR program benefits can be what we think that it is maybe the benefit may be for customer or utility, right? This DR program is beneficial for both utility as well as customer. Uh, you may wonder how in any business, right? If you take in any business, if when the seller will be get benefit only with the expense of customer. So the seller will get more money when customer will buy at high price, right? If the customer buy at the low price, then the seller will be penalized. So the profit won't be with the seller. But in this electricity business, right, it will be beneficial for both utility as well as customer. You may wonder, right, how a seller and buyer will both get benefit for this. So this is DR program. We will take some time to understand this concept, how the utility gets benefit, how the customers will get benefit because of DR program. Let us see first how customer will get benefit because of demand response program. the customer reducing their peak usage. So it means what? They are cutting off some appliances during the peak hour. So what will happen? They are consuming less power than earlier, right? So the bill will reduce, right? So this is one way, or other way, they can postpone their consumption to the off peak period. So peak period, the cost of his electricity is high. Off peak period, it is low. For the same power consumption of style, only they are changing the time of usage, thereby they reduce the cost of bill. So eventually when they do both, they will get the reduced electricity bill. So it is beneficial for the customer, right? So how the market, how the utility will get benefit when a customer reduce the electricity price? How utility will get benefit? How the electricity bill, electricity board will get benefit out of this? You see that during the peak period of operations, the utility will have different type of generators, right? All the generating cost of each generator is different, right? Depending on the type of fuel that we use, the cost of electricity will differ, right? Anybody has any idea which is the cheap generation possible? Which is the cheapest way of producing electricity today? Hydro, very good. Idle, good, very good, very good. So the cheapest electricity production is by means of it is not wind. Okay, it is only, though the fuel cost is zero for wind, there are operating and installation costs that makes it is not cheaper, right? So wind, hydro is the cheapest production cost of electricity. Anybody has any idea what could be the cost of electricity production per unit? The cost of electricity for producing hydroelectric power is 6.5 rupees. Oh my god. Mm, somebody says 2 to 5 rupees. No idea, sir. Okay, no problem. If you are not an power system engineer, there is no problem that. Okay. Just a minute, I will come back. Okay, okay. 1.5 rupees, right? It is much lower than what you think. You see that when the plenty of water is available, then the electricity cost production is around 10 to 20 paise only, right? The cost of electricity is only 10 paise to 20 paise for hydro, right? So that's why any state who have good reserves of water, and if could able to produce electricity by hydro, definitely they will get very cheapest cost of production of electricity, right? So okay, I said hydro is the cheapest. Then which is what about the cost of thermal power plant? Somebody say if we consider, okay, let me see the chat box. Uh, if we consider pump storage, then increasing the price, right? Pump storage is okay, it is there, but that also involve cost, right? In Tamil Nadu, we have a pumped storage plant at Kadampa, right? When the off-peak time, they will pump the water to the higher level. During the peak time, they will use it for protection, right? So good. Uh, we are not taking into account that, right? So we will generally only think of what is the cost of electricity production in various types, right? So hydro is cheapest, What is the cost of production of electricity by thermal power plant, right? What is the any idea of cost of production? 3.2 rupees. Okay, good. Very specific. 3.2, 2 to 3 rupees. That's a very good answer, right? So whenever you do not know anything, you can always give a range, right? So it is normally 2 to 3 rupees only. That's the right answer, right? Okay, maybe it varies from one plant to other plant. It is not a constant for all thermal power plant, but generally it is in the range of 2 to 3 rupees. What about nuclear power plant? Will it be cheaper than thermal or costlier than thermal? 6 to 7. Oh, good. Costlier. Hmm. Why do you think it is costlier? Is it because of fuel? Yes. Okay. 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 Actually, the cost of producing electricity by nuclear is on par with the thermal only. It is not high, right? It is only on par with the thermal, and widely nuclear power plants are used as base power plants, right? So in Kudangulam, uh, already there is a 1,000 megawatt project is already running, and the second phase of project is also in the pipeline. So whenever the nuclear power plant is used, it will always produce 1,000 megawatt, right? It means it will act like a base power plant, so the cost of electricity is comparable to the thermal power plant. Okay. Finally, I'll ask one question: which is the costliest way of producing electricity? Gas. Okay, good. Gas. Any other answer? Gas. Solar. Oh my God. Solar is the costliest way of producing electricity. Then how the government will promote this, right? They are giving subsidy. Hmm? Okay. Solar require only installation and maintenance cost, right? Diesel, very good, very good. Diesel is the costliest way of producing electricity, right? There are some other oils also used for producing electricity. Something like I don't know exactly, maybe something like derived from crude oil, something like that. So usually the diesel is the very costliest. If we have a cogeneration plant, then the gas is not that much costlier. But if you don't have a cogeneration plant, then it is definitely gas power plant is also a costlier one. Mm. Okay. Then when the attendance word comes, I will get stuck up. I don't know, right? So as a teacher, I don't want to take any. Actually, I don't like taking attendance at all, right? So it is the interest of the student or any participant whether to attend or not, right? So my advice is give attendance to all, so that nobody will worry about anything. Okay. Okay, good. That we will continue. I don't know where I left for it. Why asked this question, which is costlier and cheaper. Okay, okay. Now I got the point, right? So during the peak period of time, the utility are forced to operate their costlier generator. I think, hope you agree with this point, right? There are varieties of generations possible: thermal, hydro, nuclear, uh, gas, wind, solar, and maybe I left out something, right? So among them, what they will use only the cheapest electricity first, right? When the demand increases, they will use the costlier generator. When they use the costlier generator, the average price of electricity will increase, right? During the peak hour, what will happen? They wanted to use all their generation. they wanted to use their all their generate means all costlier generators are used during the peak hours. So naturally what will happen, the cost of electricity production will naturally increase, right? So it means what, who will get penalized? Naturally the customer will be penalized for cost of electricity, right? So if we reduce this peak usage, what will happen? The utility need not use the costlier generator. So costlier generator, they need not use the costlier generator. So eventually what will happen? The cost of electricity will be low, right? Since you are not operating the higher cost generator, right? Since you are not operating at the higher cost generator, the customers are not penalized, and you are also using the cheapest generation. And additionally, during the off-peak hours, you are encouraging the customers to use higher generation because of low cost. So during the peak period, you are reducing the electricity. For reduction, you will get some money for reduced usage. For increasing the usage at the off-peak hours, whenever the customer use, the utility also get more money. So when you see that, the difference will be positive. Since the customers are using electricity during the off-peak period, the utility is serving more, getting more, right? So this way they will get more money. The market participants also get, the utility also get, the ISO will also get benefit, right? Uh, the market-wide benefits can increase the short-term capacity and avoided or deferred capacity cost. So it means that the avoided and deferred capacity cost means if there are certain capacity of power is available, if you don't use it, then you have to pay, right? So the short-term capacity can be increased. So whether the capacity is used or not, for some time you have to pay for it. Okay, for usage you will pay more. For not usage you will pay less. So the avoided or the deferred capacity cost only you have to pay instead of using the actual high price. Naturally the reliability increases because the customers helps in the reducing the risk of outage. How during the peak hour everybody use electricity, what will happen? The corridor get congested, the electricity corridor will get congested. It means that there is in the danger, right? So it may get overloaded. So it means that anytime any outage can occur, right? So it is maybe nearing the situation that is away from reliable status, right? Or good stable, right? So by making this adjustment, that they will have enough capacity to meet out the demand, so they can maintain the grid in a better manner, since they will have a more spinning resource. So anything goes wrong, they can do adjustments. If you don't have more spinning resource, you do not have any options to manage the grid. So they will go for a load reduction and other options, right? So the ISO has more opportunity to use diversified resources and effective use. When you have opportunity, you can go for optimization, and then you can reduce the cost of electricity. So these are all the some of the benefits, right? So market performance, that is uh, the benefit of market also get benefited. Means what? Reduce market power means what? Market power means in India the major power producing company are held by government only, right? So it is it is not in the hands of private party, but in many countries like US, right? So the largest producers of electricity are by private parties. So you will see that uh, market power means the utility is the private owner has more power to sell electricity. It means that the customers are really only on those. If there are 10 different power producers, and one is having the very largest capacity, so it means what, during the peak hours only that can off peak hours everybody will give electricity depending on their bid price. But during the peak hours, since already everybody has given the electricity, the power can be given only by the largest producer. So he will fix the price for peak usage, maybe very high than the normal one that customer has to bear it, right? So why this come, it is because of peak power consumption. So market power means yeah, one company which becomes monopoly during the peak hours, right? So this market power can be reduced by reducing the peak hour consumption. So it reduces the market power of any company, right? Anybody heard about the California crisis in 2002 or 2003? Anybody heard about California crisis? Maybe those who are studying interested in restructuring in electricity might be known about good, very good. California crisis. I think it is the biggest negative after the introduction of restructuring in electricity in US, right? So in California crisis, the cost of electricity during that period increases exponentially. So it is unbearable for the customers to pay such a high cost. Something like a stock market rate or gold price today, it has increased exponentially. That makes very difficult for the customer to pay the cost. In those situations, a simple 5% reduction in the load will lead to a 50% cost reduction, right? Almost that California crisis in 2003 exists for more than 3 to 4 months. It is only because of market power by some market players, right? So the electricity went like a jet rocket. The entire state would have been in geo paradise because of this cost rise. And then people on those day contemporarily, they thought that restructuring was utter waste, right? So customers are not at all getting benefit because of restructuring. This is the best example. And finally government has take the control and put certain restriction on market power, and they have reduced the cost. So this is just an example. A 5% reduction in the demand decreases the cost by 50%, right? So it is a typical, look at the diagram, it is a typical consumption curve. X-axis is demand, right? If demand increases, right, then this is the cost of electricity, right? Normally, I hope you'll be able to see this, right? I will use the highlight. No, I will use the laser pointer to point out. Okay. So look at this point, right? This is the normal operating point when there is no DR program, right? So people are using electricity on their wish, and since the demand is very high, they have to pay very high electricity cost, right? Because of DR program, the customer can, who are all participated in the DR program, reduce their consumption because the consumption has decreased, right? The intersection will come to this point, so the cost of electricity decreases, right? So this is the typical figure that shows how the cost of electricity reduces because of reductions in the consumption or with the DR program. Now we will see what are the costs associated with the DR, right? So it is not a it also involves, if you wanted to enter into a DR program, it also involves some cost. What are the costs associated with the DR program? So for both customer as well as utility has to spend some money for introducing DR. What are all those costs, right? The owners and customer also incur both initial and running costs. Initial cost means what? They have to pay money for some technology and changes in the wiring and participating in the new market. They need a smart meter and all. So they have to put some initial cost, and running costs also required because of maintenance, right? So these are all the basic costs associated. And what is the initial running cost? So in order to initiate this DR program, the customers who are all participating in the DR must enable some technologies, maybe suppose in a direct control, right? The utility can switch off the your appliances with a short notice. So in order to make that, you need to have some smart thermostats to control your maybe AC or some appliances that you wanted to control, right? So you will have a certain technological system for managing that peak load reduction or energy management system. You need to buy some software, and you must may have some on-site generation also. Maybe you need to install some solar power, or some other power generations. So it requires some initial cost for customers. So what about the running cost? The running cost includes it is associated with event like a last business or rescheduling industrial process or activities. So because of rescheduling the industrial in a in a customer like domestic customer, right? The running cost won't be there won't be any running cost for a domestic customer, but in the industrial customer the running cost will happen. How they will have running cost means, suppose if they schedule, let us assume that they will reschedule the working hours of industry. Maybe they will change the shift to this hour to that hour. So it involves certainly some time. So you need to tell all your workers that you have changed this time. So you should provide some means of maybe some transport or something else, and you should reschedule the thing. So that rescheduling takes some cost, right? So that is it is not easy for company to reschedule. It involves some cost, right? So and also you may ask, the utility may ask to bring up the on-site generation. So if you wanted to bring the on-site generation, then it will require fuel cost and maintenance cost. Everything will come into picture for industrial customers, right? So domestic customers, they will incur only mostly initial cost, and running cost may be for maintenance for equipments. But industries will have more cost for running cost, right? So the other cost involved is utility also need to install advanced metering system to measure, store, and transmit energy. So they need to have a smart meters. They need to have a good technology for measuring the power consumption of each customer, and they need to have a good database of software system and hardware system to store this information. And they need to have some technology for transmitting information, maybe to the customers or anybody else that who are involved in it. So communication cost. So utility also need some money for making this. The running cost of DR program includes as administration and management. So in order to administer this, you need technical know people who can work in that. So definitely it will involve administration cost and management cost. So moreover, incentive payments may also be considered as a cost of IBP in the incentive based programs, right? So the incentive that what we give is can also be considered as the cost involved in the DR. The billing system may need to be upgraded. So it will also incur some cost. DR measurement, right? Now the next topic is how we are going to measure the DR. The ultimate objective of DR is to what? To reduce the peak demand. How you can measure whether the DR program is functioning or better or not? The best indication is peak hour demand reduction. Peak hour demand reduction indicate, or it is a measure of how successful a DR program is. Demand price electricity is one of the index that used to determine the success of the uh, DR program. So let us see what is elasticity, demand price elasticity. Elasticity means how the customer responds to the peak price, how the customer responds to the price of electricity is called the sensitivity of customer is respect to the cost of electricity is called elasticity. So the demand price elasticity can be defined as the ratio of the percent change in demand to the percent change in price. So the percentage change in demand due to the percentage change in the cost is called demand elasticity. So epsilon is the elasticity of the customer. So numerator is demand change, and it is represented in percentage or per unit to the change in the price. And this is the curve that explains how the price and quantity varies. As the quantity increases, the cost of price decreases, right? So when you change the demand, right, if the demand change increases, then the cost of changes. When you reduce the demand, the price will reduce. So elasticity means what? In response to the cost, how the reduce the demand, right? Market simulations, it is assumed that single sided there are many market price methods are used. For simplicity, here we will assume only a single sided uniform market price, and the supply side will submit the bid to the market operator. Market operator, based on the bids submitted by the generating company, they will sue the cost of for administration. They will add with that, and finally they will announce to the customer what is the price of electricity for 24 hours, right? So this is called single-sided uniform market prices. And guidelines also given for the customers to response in real time, depending on their elasticity means how much they have reduced their electric consumption, they will get money for that. Okay. And this is the flow chart that explain how electricity that how DR program works. So it is PSO based. You see that generation data, network data, and demand data. K is for hour, right? So all input data is taken for first hour, then OPF is run maybe by PSO, then calculate the UMP stands for uniform market price. This price is calculated based on LMP. LMP is locational market price. So for all 24 hours, the uniform market price is calculated, and this is announced to the customer maybe a day before, right? So the price elasticity will come and play, and this will change the demand, and again this process, that is A, will be repeated again. So when the demand changes, the cost of electricity changes, and these steps are repeated whenever the demand changes. So this is the flow chart of DR program. For optimal power flow simulations, MATLAB power system simulation package is used for OPF, right? I have already shown that run PF is the keyword used to run power flow. So run OPF is the keyword that you can use to run optimal power flow. So the social welfare maximization, or the classical minimization problem, is the total generation cost of electricity, and it is subjected to constraints like power balance, uh, inequality limits, like generation and voltage limits. So in market price, there are two formulations, namely LMP and UMP. LMP stands for locational market price. It is based on the bus location, where the LMP is different for each node or each place. So you have to collectively take the LMP, and the highest value of LMP indicate the UMP, or the LMP at a bus signifies the cost of supplying the next increment of load at that bus. It means if demand increases, what is the changes in the cost of electricity is the LMP. Someone who are very familiar with the economic dispatch may know that it is the Lagrangian parameter, right? So it is the Lagrangian that determine the LMP at each bus. So the highest value of LMP will give you the uniform market price called UMP. Now we will see some of the simulation results of DR program uh, in IEEE 30 bus. The load variation on the system was represented by a load scaling factor. And in order to apply a DR program, what you need is, we have considered a 1 hour schedule. So for 24 hours, you will have 24 different demand. What we did is, we took the basic IEEE 30 bus system uh, available in the MAT power, and we introduce a load scaling factor. Load scaling factor means what? Uh, for every 24 hours, the power is consumption demand is varying. The base load given in the IEEE 30 bus is taken as 1, and then load scaling factor is adjusted. It means that if LSF is zero point 0.9, only 90% of the base demand. If it is 1.3, then it is 30% more than the demand of base. So the demand of base power is taken as unity, and we adjusted the load scaling factor for 24 hours. Then we will get the different demand of electricity for 24 hours. So when I plot a curve, what I will get, the green color indicate the LSF, or demand of electricity for 24 hours. So you see that it is also typically shows the load curve of any country, right? So there are two peak periods, maybe This is morning peak, and this is the ultimate peak or evening peak, right? So first case, the system is assumed at normal operating condition, so it is called base case condition. The all load scaling factor for 24 hours is applied. The price is calculated for all the 24 hours, and you will see that this is the price of electricity for 24 hours. So it is very clear from the diagram that the peak consumption of power occur at 18 hours. So the price of electricity is gradually increasing from 16, 17, goes high at 18, and that come back at 19, right? So this shows clearly that how uniform market price increases with respect to the demand increase, right? So it is very sensitive to the changes in the demand. So our ultimate aim is what we wanted to flatten this cost of electricity by flatten the demand. So the case 2 considers a contingency. It means that a contingency, a line outage is introduced in the line connected between the buses 3 and 4. So because of that, demand variation occurs, and the cost of electricity also increases. And you see that the red color is the base case or case 1 prices, and because of this outage, the cost of electricity has sharply increased from this value to this value because of contingency. So the cost increase in the cost due to contingency is very high. So this diagram shows the contingency cause a price increase, and you see that it is gradually increased from hour 16 and goes to peak at 18 and come back at 19, right? These high price hikes are informed to the customers 24 hours earlier, and the case 3 is considering the elasticity of minus zero point 0.1. It means that what uh, if the price is 100% change, then the customer will reduce 10% of its demand, right? So this indicate minus zero point 0.1. Minus indicate reduction of demand. So the customer can reduce 10 percentage of demand if the price can change by 100%, right? So this is called elasticity value of minus zero point 0.1. So if this elasticity is introduced in all, so first we initially consider that for every load, if this reduction in 10% of load is applied at all load buses, then how the price varies. So you see that because of this elasticity of the customer, the price from contingency black color reduces to blue color. The cost of electricity is drastically decreased in the peak hour because of this elasticity. uh, then you can see that by using the formula of electricity, how this cost reduction came. The cost reduction came because of the demand reduction. The demand is decreased, so DR program will calculate again the LMP, and the largest value of LMP is taken as UMP, and from that the cost of electricity is calculated. And the case 4 is different elasticity. We assumed a previous case that is not possible in practice, because all customer cannot reduce 10% of electricity consumption by all means, right? So we have different type of customers, maybe customers of domestic, industrial customers maybe have different varieties of different elasticity. So we have considered 5 different customers with 5 different elasticity, right? So it means that one customer can, all are negative values, so we'll assume that we wanted to reduce the peak power consumption, so reduction of power. So we consider that the velocity is ranging from minus zero point 0.1 to minus 0.38. So minus 0.38 it means they are ready to reduce their 38% of electricity consumption. So minus zero point 0.1 is they are reducing only 10%. So five different customers that can actually reflect the choice of customer is introduced, and these different elasticity is used. How this five different customers are identified may be location based, right? So what we did is there are 30 bus in an IEEE 30 bus system. We divided into five zones. So each zone will have six buses. So among the six buses, we have allocated some elasticity values to each group, and by doing this different elasticity for different load level, and we verified the price, and the demand at the 18th hour is far better reduced, and the cost of electricity from the normal case it was 79, and the contingency case it was 108. Now because of fixed electricity it was reduced to 46.9, and further because of various elasticity it is reduced to 44.9. I think I can show you in the diagram that there is a little difference between the, I think you can notice there is a blue color line. So that blue color line is because of elasticity of minus zero point 0.1 assumed at all load buses, and this green color with respect to the elasticity of five different customers, right? So this diagram shows how the cost of electricity varies in the base case, contingency case, fixed elasticity, and various elasticity. So our aim of DR program is what? In order to reduce the cost of electricity, right? So the peak demand is greatly reduced, the cost is also greatly reduced. So we come to the conclusion that uh, the DR changes the end user customer electricity consumption pattern in response to price variation, right? If price varies, the customer change their consumption. It also induce lower electricity use at times of high wholesale market price, or when the system reliability is jeopardized, right? So the customer responds to both cases and help the utility and IS2 to perform better. DR benefit programs covers all electricity customers. That is not only the consumers of electricity, it is also useful for manufacturers or utilities, and also the operators called ISO. DR program can reduce electricity prices, improve system reliability, and reduce price volatility. To employ DREAR program, both participants and program owners must incur some initial and running cost to employ this. The performance of DR program is measured by peak load reduction. The case study that we have considered is a IEEE 30 bus system for base case, and then contingency case, fixed velocity, and different elasticity for a uh, IEEE 30 bus system, right? So now, what I have shown earlier is a case with mat power optimal power flow. When you use the PSO, what will happen, right? So I think it won't take more than 5 minutes time, right? So definitely I will complete the simulator at a given point of time, right? So the same program, and the instead of optimal power flow given the mat per, we have used PSO, right? So the modification what we have done, the PSO that I have given in the morning, that you need to decide the number of particles and you have to create a population size, and you have to assume the particle best and global best value. And I have shown the program earlier. Use the program to determine the velocity update and position update. So based on this, the cost of electricity is determined for every particle, and this is repeated for predefined predefined number of times, called maximum iteration. So the final cost what you will get is the minimum cost, right? So the left hand side diagram shows the LSF value considered and the price corresponding to uh, the base case condition. Then case 2 and 3, as before, case 2 is a contingency case. So since we have considered different LSF values, so we have getting different peak values. So the cost of electricity increases due to contingency. Red color indicate contingency cost, right? And then we introduced elasticity value. So the green color indicate the elasticity. So blue color is base case, and red color is contingency case, and green color is fixed elasticity of minus zero point 0.1 as before, right? So and then we introduced the variable elasticity. The outcome is exactly same as before. Only thing that we are getting a new solution or better solution. And this table shows that, I can show you that demand for base case and congestion case is same. Only a particular line outage is taken place in the congestion case, so demand doesn't varies. And what will happen if minus zero point 0.1 elasticity is introduced for all customers? Let me change that. Okay. So what will happen if the elasticity of minus point value is applied to all loads? So there will be a reduction of value of consumption at every. So this is the 24-hour demand, and you'll see that from the base case how it is varies. And the third column shows the generation cost for base case, generation cost for congestion case, then generation cost for a minus zero point 0.1 elasticity, right? So this way we have calculated the cost and drawn a graph for various pricing. So and then we come to the conclusion that the effect of DR program with fixed electricity value on reduction of stress on the system and high electricity prices during peak hours were observed, right? So the contingency increases the stress, so the elasticity decreases the stress. Not only the stress, as well as the cost is decreases. The DRP results are compared with other normal and congestion conditions, and it is proved that the normal operation as well as in the congested case, it is very beneficial. The proposed approach gives better optimal solution by using PSO to run OPF by getting optimal data. So we have compared the cost of electricity generation by use of classical interior point method used in mat power, and the PSO used for optimization. So we compared those results and we found that OPF is a better result than the classical method. When the proposed system is validated on IEEE 30 bus system, the saving of electricity per dollar per megawatt is found to be $2,981, and the entire thing is taken from the one of my PhD scholar Arulda Sadakalam. Subject is a PhD thesis and expecting for VOC. The basic concepts are taken from the Al-Badi and El Sodani papers. So thank you very much for your patient listening. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. If you have any question come later on, you can mail me at ckbee at tc.edu. Uh, Thank you very much for
Sir, one query
participation.
in chat box, please.
Okay, okay. Let me see the chat box.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, okay. Constraints which are based on the. Is it right? Okay, Chaitanya. Constraints which are based on dependent variables can be included in the objective function through penalty function approach. What about the constraints which are based on control variables? How to handle these constraints in terms of OPF, right? So generally, see the control variable constraint means what you are asking about the limits of the generations, right? So limits of the generations are then and there checked, right? So control variable limits are. I hope that Chaitanya is listening me. Can you please respond, Chaitanya? Oh my God, she is not here. He or she, I don't know. I cannot get.
Okay.
She is not here.
Maybe.
Okay, okay. Anyhow, I'll tell the answer, right? Okay, no
Okay.
problem. Uh, Control variable. Where is it? You cannot have a compromise on the control variable. Control variable must be within the range, right? So whenever you produce a particle of control variable, you immediately check whether it is in the range or not, right? You need not handle like a constraints. Every time when you generate, I think it is there in the program. At every time it checks. So we produce control variable within the minimum and maximum value. Because of change, if suppose if it exceeds, you have to check at every time whether it is within the limit or not. Okay. It is not a constraint, it is a it must be must within the range. Okay. And furthermore, in this case, do I have to run the load flow once each particle value is updated? Yes, of course. See, when you look at this, it will be very difficult, but I have written a program. When you run the program, you don't feel it is fatigue, because it will give the final results to you, and you can get the final data from there. Second question, PSO gives new updated values for each particle. Run the load flow again. In this way, the load flow at least will automatically take care of the equality concern. Of course, it is the repetition, right? We are going to reuse the code again and again. So first you initially create a population, then the updation we will verify. So it is something like very automatic, so you don't have any trouble at all. All right. So I think all your concerns are answered in my programs only. You look at my uh, MATLAB program. Definitely, if you don't get any, if you have any doubt, and if you have anything that you don't understand, you pinpoint me. Definitely can answer you. uh, Madam, anything else? Yes.
Sir, thank you, sir. I may like to express our sincere thanks to Dr. C.K. Babulal sir for giving an excellent coverage to PSO-based optimal load management in smart grid environment. Thank you, sir, for your elaborate explanation and introduction to PSO and optimal power flow. Thank you for a wonderful session, sir. Very interactive and informative session, sir. Thank you for accepting coming in our FDP, sir. Once again,
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. I thank you all the participants for their patient listening, and I thank the organizer for your wonderful way of doing things. Thank you very much.